You're a summoner? That's the weakest class in the world. The moment Lin Xiao awakened his class, everyone laughed at him. His rival called him trash. No team wanted him. No one believed he could clear a dungeon. Even a normal combat class was considered better than becoming a summoner. But they had no idea. Lin Xiao had awakened a unique S-tier talent. A talent so powerful that nobody else in the world could ever obtain it. Every single day, he gains a brand new S-rank talent. His first summon was just a tiny skeleton. Weak, pathetic, worthless. But after receiving an S-rank talent, it evolved into a terrifying Death Knight. A monster capable of slaughtering entire armies. Then his slime gained the power of endless evolution through devouring. His goblin became a master of legendary weapons. And that was only the beginning. While other people struggled to make one summon stronger, Lin Xiao gave countless S-rank talents to all of his summons. Every day they evolved. Every day they grew stronger. Every day they became more terrifying. Geniuses? Prodigies? Heroes? None of them could even defeat his weakest summon. Then the abyss descended upon the world. Demon gods appeared. Ancient monsters awakened. Even the gods themselves looked down upon humanity. But when humanity stood on the edge of extinction, one man stepped forward. Behind him stood an army powerful enough to shake heaven and earth. An army of death knights, ancient beasts, divine creatures, and beings powerful enough to rival gods. The world finally realized one terrifying truth. The strongest army was never an army. The strongest kingdom was never a kingdom. It was one summoner, and his summons. This is the story of Lin Xiao, the summoner who turned the weakest class into the strongest existence in the world. Week 1 8-hour video will be uploaded. All novels uploaded here are completed, so you will get a full story without searching or waiting. I have listened to the translated version on web, and there are no major problems with translation. If you want Chinese novel translated, give me the original name of the novel and I will respond to your request as soon as possible. Please make sure your request is on the latest video. If you hear this "u" sound in the novel, it means either question mark or some space is left, like getting materials or experience gained there more but not shown. If after a name is used and after there is silence, it means exclamation marks were used as in shock. I don't know if this will happen in recorded one, but it happened in web version. Chapter 182. Seeing the Death Knight block his strike, the war chief was not annoyed. Instead, he laughed wildly. Ha 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 ha. Good, good, good. Let's see how many more strikes you can block. How could he not see that the reason the Death Knight was able to block his strike was due to the special nature of its own skills? But the next one might not be so lucky. Just then, Lin Xiao took out a green bomb and threw it. A psionic bomb. The bomb exploded mid-air, forming a special psionic field that enveloped the war chief. His cleaving saber slowed down, and all its trajectories became traceable. What the hell is this thing? Why do I feel as slow as a turtle? The war chief roared in anger. His mind was unaffected, but his movements were greatly slowed. Humph! Petty tricks. Even if I stand here and let you hit me, can you actually hurt me? The moment his arrogant words were spoken, the Death Knight's long spear pierced through, leaving a small hole in his body, from which blood trickled down. The war chief, a level 36 Death Knight, actually managed to injure him and penetrate his defenses. This was simply impossible. Minus 3.7 billion. Killing intent fluctuation. No, it had now upgraded into Death Ripple. A terrifying damage number appeared above the war chief's head, shocking him so much that his eyes narrowed into pinpoints. The Death Knight, constantly fighting outside, had also reached a terrifying level on its status panel. Although its level was lower than the werewolf war chief before him, it was already capable of piercing his defenses. He still had 2 psionic bombs in his hand, each lasting 30 seconds, which could at most fix the war chief in place for a minute and a half. Although it might not last for the maximum duration, it was enough for the Death Knight to kill him. What a powerful Death Knight! Qin Chuan, who was behind, saw Lin Xiao's Death Knight actually manage to hurt the archdemon, and he was completely stunned, unable to recover for a long time. For him, being under level 40, to be able to injure a level 70 or even level 80 archdemon was simply outrageous. Bastard! The war chief's muscles continuously swelled as he tried to use brute force to break free from the strange power restricting him. This power had turned him into a turtle. Originally, he hadn't taken it seriously. After all, his strength completely overwhelmed the opponent. But Lin Xiao's summoned beast was too strange. It had a percentage-based health reduction effect. If this continued, he would be slowly killed by its bizarre abilities, dying a suffocating death. The Death Knight continuously launched attacks. The damage wasn't high, but it was still nearly 1,000,000. In just 2 seconds, Lin Xiao noticed that the war chief's movements had mostly recovered. Brat D. Having finally suppressed the strange power, the war chief violently raised his great saber. Just as he was about to cleave down, a tiny green bomb appeared in his line of sight. Motherf asterisk cur. Bang! Another psionic bomb. His attacking motion was fixed in midair, his expression twisted with rage, his eyes seeming to spit fire, looking ready to tear Lin Xiao into 10,000 pieces. Rumble! A bolt of lightning struck down, and the war chief, who was trying to break free using brute force, suddenly returned to normal, slamming his great saber down fiercely. Lin Xiao's pupils contracted. He quickly dodged with a slide tackle. The Death Knight couldn't react in time and was immediately smashed away, its health instantly dropping to the bottom. If you can't speak properly, then shut up, you good-for-nothing. To be put in such a pathetic state by a professional who is not even level 40. It seems I chose the wrong person back then. The woman in black robes' sharp voice pierced straight through the air from not far away, filled with undisguised contempt. Roar! The war chief stomped heavily on the ground, causing spiderweb-like cracks to appear on the solid earth. The veins on his neck bulged like angry little snakes as he let out an earth-shattering roar. To think that he, a dignified archdemon of the abyss, so majestic and imposing, was repeatedly thwarted by a mere subordinate under level 40, and then contemptuously insulted as a good-for-nothing by this woman. How could he possibly swallow such a monstrous humiliation? Stop talking nonsense over there! The war chief roared hoarsely, his eyes bloodshot. This brat is full of unorthodox and evil tricks, with endless methods. Think you're so great? If you have the guts, go fight him yourself. While the war chief cursed, his body did not stop moving for a second. He fiercely charged towards Lin Xiao, vowing to instantly kill the opponent with one blow to prove himself. Just as he was charging, another tiny green bomb appeared in his line of sight. Damn it! That single word contained the war chief's endless rage and frustration. The Death Knight reappeared, with the green shadow of war manifesting behind it, launching another attack. Lin Xiao glanced at the woman in black robe not far away, his thoughts complicated. If she intervened again, it would be difficult for him to restrict the werewolf before him, preventing him from delaying until Yao Tianyi and the others arrived. He could only hope that the opponent would watch from the side and not interfere, but things did not go as planned. Bang! The war chief, who had been suspended midair, suddenly crashed to the ground. The effect of the psionic bomb had been dispelled. The war chief stood up, laughing loudly. "Brat, do you have any more of these little toys? Bring them out if you do. Let's see how long you can keep this up." Lin Xiao's face instantly darkened like water, cold light flashing in his eyes as he stared intently at the whistling, fierce attack rushing towards him. In the nick of time, he didn't hesitate to trigger the evil dragon equipment effect again, his body dipping down rapidly like a black bolt of lightning, narrowly avoiding the war chief's fatal blow with a ground-hugging slide tackle. However, before Lin Xiao had a chance to catch his breath, just as he stabilized himself not far away, a sinister and icy aura silently crept up from behind him like a maggot clinging to bone. Lin Xiao immediately felt a chill down his spine, the hairs on his neck standing up. He vigilantly looked back and saw a pair of wolf eyes, radiating a faint, fierce light, suddenly appear in the darkness. Immediately afterward, a fierce gale wrapped around the sharp great saber, carrying the momentum to split mountains and rocks, viciously slashing towards his neck. The saber wind cut his face, seemingly intending to instantly cleave him in two. The woman in black robes subconsciously raised her hand, only to see Lin Xiao quickly recall the Death Knight back into the summoned beast space. The next second, clang, block. The Oath of Darkness talent was triggered again. The war chief was startled, but without pausing, he quickly appeared on the other side, and his great saber struck again. Clang, another block. This time it was a clone of the shadow of the green capital. "Just how many perfect block skills do you have?" The war chief was enraged, feeling like he was being played for a fool. Just then, a beam of evil light shot up into the sky, drawing everyone's attention, and a wicked figure gradually emerged. "It's done. Time to leave, you good-for-nothing. I told you long ago that you couldn't kill him." The woman in black robe sneered. The war chief's eyes were bloodshot. After glaring at Lin Xiao, he turned to the woman in black robe and roared, "Don't call me a good-for-nothing." With a single leap, he arrived next to the woman in black robe, no longer paying attention to Lin Xiao. Killing Lin Xiao was far less important than obtaining the evil god's power. Chapter 183. The ominous figure of the evil entity appeared on the altar, floating in mid-air, gradually solidifying. Heaven and earth changed color. That power was like the creation of the world, tearing open the barriers of space. The fluctuations of immense power, like a materialized storm, continuously raged wherever they went, stirring up sand and stones, causing all things to wither. Yao Tianyi and the two military chiefs from the east and west, who were rushing to the depths of the despair green capital dungeon at top speed, also clearly felt the immense power of this force. This such powerful energy. Is it the power of the evil god? Wu Jinghuan's face was filled with horror as he looked in disbelief at the sky, which was distorted by this evil power. Are we too late? If the abyss obtains this power, it will be a disaster for us. Qin Shiran's expression was very grim. He knew that the purpose of this abyss attack was the residual power of the evil god, but he didn't expect that even after they had successively destroyed the evil god altars, these abyssal demons would still succeed. Could it be that those were just bait they released and the real target was here? Now is not the time to talk about this. They shouldn't have fully obtained the evil god's power yet. We still have a chance. You're right. Looking at the tall and sinister silhouette and feeling the suffocating aura of death, Qin Chuan came to Lin Xiao's side. What should we do? It seems we don't have a chance. Qin Chuan gritted his teeth, feeling a hint of unwillingness. Lin Xiao shook his head. No, we still do. They haven't obtained the evil god's power yet. Qin Chuan gave a bitter smile, just about to say, even if they haven't obtained it, just the two of us have no chance to contend. But seeing Lin Xiao's resolute gaze, and remembering how he faced the war chief alone without any retreat, he swallowed the words he was about to say. You're right. They haven't obtained the evil god's power yet. We still have a chance. Even if it costs us our lives, we can't let them succeed. Lin Xiao and Qin Chuan chased after them. The woman in black robe noticed the two of them but didn't pay them any mind. Her gaze fixed on the figure, filled with evil and grandeur. The woman in black robe took out a special spherical object from her huai. Only one last step remained to bring back the evil god's power. Just as the woman in black robe was about to make her move, a deep voice echoed from the sky. I never thought I would have a day to see the light again, thinking I would forever remain in this wretched place. The shocking voice stirred up turbulent waves in the woman in black robe's heart. This evil god's power could actually speak. It was an unconscious entity. Before she could figure out what was happening, her body suddenly tensed, as if being targeted by some evil creature, rendering her immobile. It's not the power left behind by the evil god. This is the true evil god. Horror appeared on the woman in black robe's face for the first time, because this was completely beyond her expectations. An evil god and the power left behind by an evil god are not the same thing at all. Not only the woman in black robe, but everyone, including Lin Xiao, was confined in place by a single gaze from the evil god. Lin Xiao, this doesn't seem right. Qin Chuan's teeth chattered in fear. Even the proud red dragon, at the top of the food chain, was prostrate on the ground, trembling, unable to escape quickly under the evil god's gaze. Lin Xiao forced himself to calm down, gritting his teeth and saying, "It's the true evil god, not the power left behind." He glanced at the evil god, and out of the corner of his eye, he saw the woman in black robe, whose face was also full of shock. This clearly meant that even she had not anticipated this situation. "Did you save me from this wretched place?" The evil god's gaze was profound, as if it could penetrate everything, looking down at everyone. "Great and unparalleled evil god Lord, it is us who, sacrificing our lives and using our souls as a guide, awakened you from that silent abyss, allowing you to once again rule this world." The rooster-headed demon knelt before the phantom in midair, prostrating himself with his entire body trembling violently from excitement. His face filled with devotion like a burning flame. In his eyes, flashing with a mad light, was unwavering loyalty and worship towards the evil god Lord, as if before him was the only true God in the world, the absolute existence that controls the fate of all things. For the evil god before him, he was willing to offer everything, even his entire soul. As for his previous master, as soon as he felt the evil god's power, he immediately chose to betray him without the slightest hesitation. "I feel your sincerity. You are very honored to be the first to help me restore my power." The rooster-headed demon's eyes glinted with fanaticism, and just as he was about to sincerely express his gratitude, he quickly reacted and hastily said, "No, evil god Lord." Without any movement, with just a glance, the rooster-headed demon turned into pure energy, flowing into the evil god's body. Very ordinary, but there are a few good ones. The evil god's eyes held a hint of disdain, but having just resurrected, He couldn't care less whether the power was pure or not. He just needed to recover first. Now it's your turn. His gaze swept over the woman in black robe and the others, and when it fell on Lin Xiao, he let out a soft "oh." You actually have my power within you. Very good, truly very good. What an unexpected gain. Lin Xiao felt immense pressure, as if being watched by the evil god was like having several thousand-ton mountains pressing down on him, threatening to crush him into powder. The woman in black robes' gaze darkened, and she was about to make a move. Even if she couldn't collect the evil god's power, she absolutely couldn't let him recover. Just as the evil god was about to act, with a smack, a brick flew over and hit the evil god's body. Compared to the evil god's massive body, this brick was like throwing a small pebble at a mammoth. Hey, fated one, you took my stuff but haven't opened it yet? A familiar voice came, and Lin Xiao suddenly felt his body lighten, the pressure on him vanishing. He looked in the direction of the voice. Xiao Montak. Xiao Mo stepped on a broken stone, leaning slightly forward, tossing a brick in her hand, a wild smile on her face. The evil god's body stiffened, and he looked towards Xiao Mo, his voice becoming deep and terrifying. It's you! You're still alive. Fated one, if you don't open what I left behind, it will all be over. Saying this, Xiao Mo jumped down. Lin Xiao then realized what Xiao Mo was talking about. The super grand prize. The super grand prize she left behind. Lin Xiao didn't hesitate and immediately opened it. Obtained, Thought Beast. Summon, Lingering Thought, Thought Power Whip *1, Exclusive Weapon. The moment it was opened, a green orb of light flew out from Lin Xiao's body and landed on Xiao Mo. Her previously hot and unruly appearance began to change from bottom to top. I'm not dead yet? If you're not dead, how could I die? Xiao Mo walked step by step towards the evil god. I suppressed you here, knowing this day would come. I once prayed to God to receive a glimpse of fate, to seek the revelation of destiny, that in the distant future, a fated one would appear to help me completely eradicate you. Chapter 184. A deep brown double-brimmed hat, the texture of the crown fine and exquisite, and a loose, snow-white long coat draped over her broad, sturdy shoulders, the hem swaying gently in the wind. She wore a pair of black leather boots. The surface was highly polished, and the hard texture and delicate stitching all demonstrated their quality. The boot shafts wrapped perfectly around her calves, outlining the vigorous and powerful lines of her legs. Xiao Mo's demeanor had undergone a massive change, appearing much more mature and composed, leading Lin Xiao to momentarily think she was a different person. I was quite rebellious back then. I hope I didn't leave a bad impression on you. Xiao Mo pressed down on the hat on her head and said. Lin Xiao shook his head slightly and said, Not at all. It's quite cool. A surge of smugness rose in Xiao Mo, and she laughed. It is indeed quite cool. We can chat later. First, let me deal with the scourge from back then. Having said that, Xiao Mo transformed into a flash of green light and vanished before Lin Xiao's eyes. When she reappeared, she was already standing before the evil god, the two confronting each other across the distance. You destroyed my home. Today, the accounts of the past will be completely settled. A cold light flashed in Xiao Mo's eyes. She abruptly extended her palm, facing upward, with her 5 fingers slightly spread. In an instant, a black shadow shot out from her palm like a spiritual snake. It was a long whip. The whip was pitch black, radiating a cold, hard sheen. Intricate and complex patterns were carved onto the body of the whip, resembling ancient incantations, mysterious and profound. At this moment, the whip was tightly enveloped by a layer of rich and vibrant green psychic energy. This energy seemed alive, flowing and churning in strands, like dynamic green silk dancing in the wind. This not only added an extraordinary aura to the long whip, but also caused it to emit a chilling deterrent force, as if in the next second, under Xiao Mo's control, it could tear through the air and strike the evil god's vital points. Little brat, you couldn't kill me that day, and you won't kill me today either. The fact that you're still alive is excellent. I just resurrected and am short on energy supplies. Let's start with you. With that, the evil god's aura drastically changed, as if he had opened the gates to hell, and endless evil power surged out like a black tide. In an instant, the sky seemed to be violently torn apart by an invisible giant hand. The weather changed drastically, and ink-black clouds rapidly gathered and churned at a visible speed, completely covering half the sky. The strange red light occasionally flickering within the clouds resembled the ferocious eyes of a demon. The ground below also couldn't withstand this immense evil pressure, beginning to tremble violently. Cracks spread rapidly like spiderwebs, and the air was filled with a suffocating scent of decay and death. Indeed, I couldn't kill you back then, but today is different. You've been sealed for so long. Do you still possess the strength you had? Xiao Mo's eyes were like torches, her gaze seemingly able to penetrate layers of darkness, locking firmly onto the evil god, radiating determination and confidence. Today was the day of her revenge. Boom! A massive sound, like a sudden clap of thunder, exploded between heaven and earth. Xiao Mo's body suddenly shook, and the psychic energy that had long been hidden within her surged out like a volcanic eruption. In an instant, a brilliant light erupted, forcefully carving out half of the sky, which had originally been dyed pitch black by the evil god's power, resembling the descent of the apocalypse. That dazzling psychic energy light tore through the darkness like the dawn's first light. Wherever it reached, the evil aura swiftly retreated. For today, I made thorough preparations back then, deliberately preserving a great deal of power, honed through my youth in the dungeon. I was waiting for this very day. Xiao Mo stood tall and proud, her posture straight as a pine tree. Every word she spoke was accompanied by surging psychic energy, shaking the entire area. As her voice fell, the pitch-black sky, symbolizing the evil god's supreme evil authority, rapidly shrank at a visible speed. The vast majority was already occupied by Xiao Mo's immense and righteous psychic energy. Fully 2/3 of the firmament was now encroached upon by the psychic energy. You! The evil god's gaze darkened, and his expression became terrifyingly grim. He had never expected that the little brat from the past would make so many preparations for this day. Had she foreseen this long ago? Suddenly, the evil god seemed to recall what Xiao Mo had just said. You! Fate assisted you. Xiao Mo scoffed upon hearing this. Sealed for so long, you truly have gone senile, haven't you? Only realizing it now. Whoosh dash! The wind howled. The long whip in Xiao Mo's hand was like an enraged flood dragon, carrying immense force as it traced a jade-green arc in the air. It swept toward the evil god with lightning speed. The sharp sound of it tearing through the air sounded like ghosts wailing, instantly ripping apart the heavy atmosphere around them and striking fiercely at the evil god. Immediately after, there was a crisp crack, like a clap of thunder, which made people's eardrums ache, and the evil god's body dimmed slightly. The evil god glared at Xiao Mo with wide eyes, and an invisible death force attacked. But as the force neared Xiao Mo, the attack slowed down drastically, and she easily dodged it in the end. Xiao Mo raised the whip in her hand and struck again. "Why are you staring with those big eyes? Did the whipping hurt? If it hurts, just yell it out. It's nothing to be ashamed of. You!" The evil god's face turned red with anger. He watched the whip strike again and tried to dodge, but found that his body's reaction seemed sluggish, leaving him no time to evade. Crack! Another strike. After taking 3 consecutive strikes, he finally noticed a clue. "Ha ha ha!" The evil god laughed wildly. "Using your divine power to counteract my divine power? Is this how you plan to eliminate me? How naive! How long can you maintain this state? Can you hold out long enough to completely destroy me? I doubt it." The evil god laughed again, realizing that Xiao Mo's attack was incredibly simple and crude, a head-on clash using her power to cancel out his with no other flashy techniques. Xiao Mo was unconcerned, her expression calm. "The power I preserved is enough to eliminate you. Is that so?" The evil god immediately looked toward Lin Xiao and the others, a cruel smile spreading across his lips. "But I have supplies right here. It is your boundless glory to become this god's food." The evil god swiftly cast his gaze down. The woman in black robe immediately spat out fresh blood. The war chief's body was instantly crushed, but he resolutely endured the pain to shield the woman in black robe. "Xiao Montak." Lin Xiao immediately grew anxious. Buzz. Pale green psychic energy emerged, isolating the evil god's power and shielding them from the threat of death. "Sealed for so long. Your brain truly has degenerated." Xiao Mo's eyes were filled with disdain. "Since I was waiting for the fated one, how could I not have a means to protect him?" The evil god was not angry. His eyes were full of mockery, seemingly laughing at his opponent's foolishness. "Is that so? Then how many people would this fated one you waited for turn out to be? Could the fate revelation you sought even pinpoint the exact number? That's impossible." Xiao Mo frowned, instantly feeling that something was wrong. "Then tell me, did you know that the fated one you were waiting for is also my fated one?" As the last word fell, the evil god exerted his full power and cast his gaze toward Lin Xiao. The speed was so fast that even Xiao Mo couldn't react in time. Evil god's glare. Lin Xiao, who was watching the battle, lost all consciousness immediately after hearing that he was also the evil god's fated one. Without having time to consider what the evil god meant, he didn't faint. He instantly exploded into a mist of blood, dead on the spot. Qin Chuan, who was closest to Lin Xiao, was splattered with blood all over. His eyes were slightly vacant, and he hadn't even registered that the blood on him was Lin Xiao's. "You!" When Xiao Mo saw this, her heart instantly stopped. Her eyes turned crimson, and her emerald hair whipped wildly. "Ha ha ha! Are you angry? He possessed a trace of my power within him. You, who constantly wish to tear me into 10,000 pieces, feel anger for him. But none of that matters. What matters is that this single trace of power is enough for me to completely erase you. I dare ask, did you, who received the fate revelation, foresee this situation?" Ha ha ha! The evil god laughed loudly, but his laughter soon came to an abrupt halt. Because after killing Lin Xiao, the evil god's power within Lin Xiao did not return to him. What's going on? Why didn't the power return? The evil god roared in shock, a look of panic appearing on his face for the first time. In the past, he wouldn't have spared a glance for this tiny trace of power. But now was not the past. This tiny trace of power was enough to turn the tide of battle and snatch victory from defeat. As long as Lin Xiao was killed, this power should naturally return to his body. That should have been the case, yet after Lin Xiao's death, the power that originally belonged to him did not return to the evil god. Looking at the pool of blood on the ground, the evil god roared, "You're not dead." Chapter 185. Lin Xiao wasn't dead. If he had died, the power of the evil god on him would have returned to the evil god. But this hadn't happened. So, it was certain that Lin Xiao was not dead. But with such a huge disparity in strength between them, the evil god truly couldn't understand how he had survived. Just as the evil god was in shock, a light glowed where Lin Xiao had died, and in less than a second, he was standing back in his original position. The Earth Preservation Set has been triggered. You have been revived. Health restored to 100%. All attributes increased by 100%. A notification sound came to Lin Xiao's ears. He had indeed died, but he had come back to life the instant after his death. It was the revival effect of the Earth Preservation Set. Lin Xiao looked at himself, revived, still shaken. Only after reviving did he realize that he had just died. Lin Xiao, Qin Chuan, covered in blood, looked at Lin Xiao in astonishment. It was only after seeing Lin Xiao revive that he realized Lin Xiao had just been killed by the evil god. Lin Xiao had no time to ponder his death or marvel at the power of the Earth Preservation Set before he heard the evil god's furious roar. "Revival? I refuse to believe you can revive again." In an instant, a black curtain enveloped the heavens and earth, and a dense aura of darkness surged out from around the evil god, like thick ink. The evil energy instantly filled the entire space, devouring all surrounding light. The space became distorted under this power, and Lin Xiao felt an overwhelming pressure surge from all directions, as if it wanted to crush him into a bloody mist again. He knew Lin Xiao hadn't dodged his attack, but had survived through some unknown means. But such revival methods surely weren't plentiful. "You won't get another chance." Xiaomo's eyebrows were raised, her almond-shaped eyes wide, burning with resolute fury. She suddenly flicked her slender yet powerful wrist, and the long whip in her hand, like a spiritual snake that had been dormant for a long time, ready to devour its prey, whipped towards the evil god with a whooshing sound and lightning speed. In an instant, the whip's tip cut through the air, emitting a sharp, piercing sound like a clap of thunder, forcefully severing the evil god's invisible attack and completely disrupting his fierce offensive. She was very angry, very furious. If Lin Xiao hadn't possessed a special revival method, he would have already died. He was the fated one. And if he died, she would be filled with immense guilt for failing to protect him. "Ah!" The evil god let out a heart-wrenching scream. The sound was filled with endless pain, like a desperate wail from the 9 nether abysses, echoing continuously in this chaotic space, causing ripples in the surrounding air. The dense evil energy swirling around him flickered violently and dimmed like a candle flame under this whip, scattering wildly in all directions. A shocking whip mark, like a hideous gully, was left deeply etched on his body where he was struck. This whip seemed to have scattered even his soul. He had just played a little trick to attract Xiaomo's attention, then killed Lin Xiao as quickly as possible. He had used almost all his power in that strike because once Lin Xiao died, the expended energy could be recovered. But he never expected Lin Xiao to have revival abilities, causing his plan to fail. The evil god's massive body trembled violently, gradually becoming transparent, and screams erupted from his mouth one after another. The evil god who once made all beings tremble and could plunge the world into silence with a single glance, now completely lacked his former might, like a pathetic stray dog, staggering and fleeing under Xiao Mo's fierce lashing. "Ah! I'll fight you to the death." The evil god, whose energy was depleted, a glint of madness flashed in his eyes. He roared deafeningly, tilting his head back, and with his remaining strength, he lunged at Xiao Mo like a black lightning bolt. In an instant, the evil aura, which had already dimmed, surged violently again as if injected with a stimulant, then quickly condensed and twisted in the air, transforming into a black, clawing evil dragon that viciously bit at Xiao Mo. Along its path, the space was torn into hideous black cracks, like entrances to an endless abyss. Seeing this, Xiao Mo's heart sank. She hadn't expected the evil god, whose energy was already depleted, to still be able to unleash such astonishing power. Before she could react comprehensively, the evil dragon, condensed from evil energy, violently crashed into her. A tremendous force instantly permeated her entire body, and she flew backward uncontrollably like a kite with a broken string, falling heavily to the ground, raising a cloud of dust, with blood spilling from the corner of her mouth. The evil god's sudden counterattack had left her seriously injured. After his attack succeeded, the evil god was momentarily stunned, then let out a chilling, maniacal laugh. "Ah! I almost forgot I don't need to kill that human to get my power back. I can just take it directly from you. I've been sealed for too long, my mind isn't as sharp as it used to be." This unexpected strike inadvertently stole some of Xiao Mo's energy, and he himself recovered slightly. Although it was only a little, he immediately thought of a way to turn the tables. He had been blinded by that human with the power of the evil god, thinking that merely getting his power back would lead to victory, but he realized it wasn't necessary at all. As long as he exhausted Xiao Mo's power, he could still win. Xiao Mo's gaze darkened, and she spoke in a low voice. The evil god heard this, and the corners of his mouth curled into a cold, mocking smile. The next second, the evil energy around the evil god surged and converged like a black tide, then rushed towards Lin Xiao, who was not far away. Seeing this, Xiao Mo unhesitatingly swung her whip, interrupting the evil god's attack. But in the blink of an eye, as she moved to block, the evil god's long-hidden killing move quietly appeared. A faint, dark light struck Xiao Mo's vital point with lightning speed. Xiao Mo couldn't dodge in time, feeling a sharp pain in her chest, as if she had been bitten by a venomous snake. The evil god, who had once again devoured some of Xiao Mo's power, had an even more intense, smug, cold smile on his face. Xiao Mo's expression gradually turned grim. She knew the evil god's plan, but she was powerless to stop it. Let him kill Lin Xiao? That was absolutely impossible. Even if he didn't have the power of the evil god, it was still absolutely unacceptable. Seeing this scene, Lin Xiao's heart sank. This was an unresolvable open scheme. Repeatedly, Xiao Mo was bound to lose. Thinking of this, he felt he had to do something. He then summoned the lucky spirit, and looking at it, Lin Xiao said gravely, "Whether we can turn the tide depends on you. Chapter 186. Seeing her master's serious expression, the lucky spirit panicked slightly, and noticing the two powerful energy bodies in the distance, she panicked even more. Master, you don't mean for me to fight them, do you? How could I possibly beat them? The lucky spirit shook her head like a rattledrum. She clearly understood the gap between herself and her opponents. It wasn't just miles apart. She probably couldn't even compare to one of their pinky fingers. Lin Xiao wasted no words and said directly, "Throw the dice, my one." The lucky spirit was stunned for a moment, then reacted, holding a large dice in her hands. "I know. Master, you want to roll a 6. 6. The only thing Lin Xiao could think of to help Xiao Mo was the lucky spirit's gambler talent. As long as they could roll a 6, there might still be a tiny sliver of hope. But this relied purely on luck, and the probability was not the supposed 1/6. Because the stronger the effect associated with the dice face, the lower the probability of rolling it, which was why 6 rarely appeared in previous battles. The lucky spirit naturally saw Lin Xiao's worries and smiled mysteriously. "Hee, master. There's actually a way to roll a 6 100% of the time." "Roll a 6 100% of the time?" Lin Xiao was startled and looked at the lucky spirit in surprise. "You can 100% roll the number you want? Why didn't I know this?" The lucky spirit blinked and replied, "That's because Master has never used it." Boom! Powerful energy fluctuations came from afar. The two immense forces collided and intertwined, each exchange threatening to overturn the very heavens and earth. Lin Xiao noticed Xiao Mo was injured again and quickly asked, "What is the method? Tell me quickly." Despite Xiao Mo's protection, he knew he was still lingering outside the gates of hell, liable to die at any moment under the power of the evil god. The evil god's constant, subtle targeting prevented Xiao Mo from using her full strength, forcing her to reserve some power for his protection. Precisely because of this, she was frequently caught by the evil god's dirty tricks and gradually fell into a disadvantaged position. Sacrifice. Doesn't Master have the sacrifice skill? Using the sacrifice skill can trigger my gambler talent, allowing you to roll the number you desire. The lucky spirit told Lin Xiao the method. Lin Xiao was momentarily stunned. To 100% roll the number he wanted, he had never expected this method. Seeing her stupefied master, the lucky spirit smiled and said, "I am Master's summoned beast, so being sacrificed won't result in true death. Master doesn't need to worry at all." This was considered the summoner's sole advantage. When a summoned beast dies, it doesn't truly perish but returns to the summoner's space to fall into slumber. After a period, it can be summoned again. However, if the summoner dies, all summoned beasts within the summoning space also die immediately. Thus, the moment Lin Xiao died, the Death Knight, Lucky Spirit, Snow Girl Doll, and all the other summoned beasts instantly realized their master was dead. They were shocked and panicked, unsure what their master had experienced. But in the next instant after his impending death, they felt their master revive. Therefore, when the lucky spirit was summoned out, she immediately understood what had happened with a single glance. Sacrifice. Lin Xiao had learned this skill a long time ago. It allowed him to unleash powerful force or trigger special effects at the cost of sacrificing a summoned beast. But he had hardly ever used this skill because there was simply no need. The Death Knight and the others were absurdly powerful, capable of fighting enemies far above their level, so sacrifice was naturally unnecessary. But now he had to use it. "I understand." Lin Xiao nodded. Although the summoned beasts wouldn't truly die, Lin Xiao still felt a degree of cruelty using sacrifice on them, but he couldn't afford to worry about that now. Lin Xiao immediately activated the skill. The lucky spirit was instantly covered in a layer of white light, and the next second, with a bang, she exploded into dust. Immediately afterward, a dice landed on the ground. Lucky spirit sacrifice complete, triggering the effect predetermined dice. Lin Xiao looked at the large dice on the ground, and the relevant information immediately appeared before his eyes. Predetermined dice. Mentally recite a number and throw the dice to obtain the desired numerical effect, and the effect is 100% beneficial to the user. Lin Xiao quickly grabbed the dice with both hands, rapidly chanted 6 several times in his heart, and threw it. The dice rolled a few times on the ground, with the 6 pips facing upwards. The gambler talent is triggered. 6. Effect obtained. Attribute enhancement increased by 6 times, and extra recovery speed increased by 6 times. In an instant, Lin Xiao felt a mighty and majestic power, like surging tides, continuously rushing out from deep within his body, rapidly flowing through his limbs and bones. His entire being was immersed in an unprecedented feeling of strength, giving him the sense of being invincible under heaven. The inherent attribute boost from the resurrection effect, magnified 6 times by the dice, instantly reached a terrifying level, with his HP breaking past 1,000,000. In the distance, although Xiao Mo and the evil god were locked in a stalemate, it was clear that Xiao Mo's strength was gradually weakening. Even though she was fully prepared, the evil god was an old fox and quickly found a way to counter and restrain her. Ah ha ha ha! The evil god threw his head back and let out a manic, wild laugh. How many more times can you protect him? His eyes flashed with sinister light, and the muscles on his face twisted and contorted from excessive arrogance, showing none of the embarrassment from his previous mistake. His previous blunder had cost him a bloody and extremely painful price, but in his eyes, it was merely a temporary miscalculation. Now, the scales of victory were tipping in his favor. Xiao Mo's consumption was greater than his, and she still had to protect that human. By exploiting this slightly, preventing her from launching a full-power attack, and seizing the opportunity to counterattack, he could win and devour her as her strength waned and his grew. At this moment, Xiao Mo's face was extremely grim. Various methods to break the current predicament churned in her mind, but without exception, none could counter the evil god's open strategy. Just then, her body suddenly shook, and her mind became completely clear. A continuous stream of psionic power from the dungeon surged into her body, instantly refilling her previously exhausted constitution with strength. This is Xiao Montag was Stund. The psionic power floating around the dungeon was flowing into her body. The evil god's expression suddenly changed. You can absorb the psionic power here? He had been constantly monitoring Xiao Mo's changes. The sudden increase in power and recovery flashed as panic in his eyes, like the final straw breaking the camel's back. At this moment, both Xiao Mo and the evil god sharply turned their gaze toward Lin Xiao's location. Lin Xiao, it was you. 2 different voices of inquiry. The former carried surprise, while the latter carried endless fury. The evil god had absolutely not anticipated that an ant who had stolen a negligible amount of his power would possess such an ability. Chapter 187. You're courting death. The evil god immediately locked onto Lin Xiao. Xiao Mo seized this moment to launch a swift counterattack, whipping out her lash and forcefully interrupting the evil god's assault. The evil god was completely enraged. The evil energy surrounding him instantly surged like black flames, and his blood-red eyes burned with towering fury and endless killing intent. He spun around, transforming into a black lightning bolt, instantly locking onto Lin Xiao in the distance. He regretted it. He should have killed this ant-like human in front of him first. Originally, victory was assured, but he didn't know what that human did, and the scales of victory tipped once again. Now, the evil god was blinded by rage and determined to kill Lin Xiao. Just at this critical moment, Xiao Mo's eyes were like torches, spotting the flaw the evil god had finally exposed. The long whip in her hand was like an awakened flood dragon, raised high amid the howling wind. Then, carrying immense force, it struck hard toward the evil god with lightning speed. The tip of the whip tore through the sky, letting out a sharp, piercing crack. It forcefully interrupted the evil god's fierce attack, its imposing power drawing attention. With the supplementary thought power from the dungeon, Xiao Mo's condition improved steadily, and she gave the evil god no further chances until she killed him. "I should have gotten rid of you first." The evil god let out a miserable shriek, his hateful voice echoing across the sky before finally being extinguished beneath Xiao Mo's long whip. With the constant replenishment of thought power, Xiao Mo's eyes shone brightly. The long whip in her hand was like an agile python, dancing lethal arcs in the air, pressing him hard with every move, giving the evil god no chance to breathe, vowing to utterly crush him. "I should have gotten rid of you first." He let out a desperate, miserable shriek toward the sky, his hateful voice seeming capable of piercing the firmament. In the final moments of his life, he exhausted his remaining strength, glaring viciously at Lin Xiao, his gaze seemingly poisoned, as if cursing Lin Xiao to never find peace in the future. Finally, under the increasingly fierce lashes of Xiao Mo's whip, the evil god's body gradually dissolved into wisps of black smoke, vanishing between heaven and earth, leaving behind only dead silence. As the evil god's final wisp of hateful residual soul completely dissipated under Xiao Mo's fierce whipping, the evil energy lost its source, aimlessly scattering and gradually thinning out. The intertwining storm of power dissipated, revealing the scarred earth. Bottomless ravines crisscrossed the ground, tragic marks left by the collision of their powers. Xiao Mo stood in place, holding her long whip, her chest rising and falling slightly as she gasped for breath. Her gaze remained vigilant as she scanned the surroundings. Only after confirming that the evil god had no possibility of rebirth did she finally relax. After confirming the evil god's complete demise, Xiao Mo slowly retracted her long whip and walked toward Lin Xiao. Before Lin Xiao could thank her first, Xiao Mo spoke up. "Thank you. I should be thanking you. Without you, today would have been dicey." Even he hadn't expected this place to be the evil god's sealed location. If Xiao Mo hadn't appeared, he likely would have met his end here today. Even the resurrection ability of the Earth Preservation set wouldn't have helped. Xiao Mo shook her head. "As long as you reached this place, I was bound to appear. I thank you because I finally got a chance for revenge." Suddenly, Xiao Mo remembered something. She sharply looked behind her, and seeing the emptiness there, a hint of displeasure appeared on her face. "Those two stowaways ran away. I actually let them slip past." She was naturally referring to the woman in black robe and the war chief. Remembering that the woman in black robe and the war chief used special methods to enter this place, Lin Xiao couldn't help but ask curiously, "If they had succeeded, what would have happened to you?" Xiaomo looked at the gradually disappearing dungeon and said lightly, I probably would have died immediately, because the first thing the evil god would do after breaking the seal is destroy this place. But fortunately you came, cleared the path all the way here, and obtained the final treasure I left behind, which gave you the power to fight the evil god. Fighting the evil god. Lin Xiao glanced at Xiaomo and couldn't help but ask, Are you also a god? Definitely. If not, where did she get the power to fight the evil god? Xiaomo, consider me half a god. You can call me God of Thought. God of Thought. Lin Xiao murmured the name. He recalled the rewards he received in the dungeon, and the name of the dungeon he was currently in, all related to thought power, which was Xiaomo's ability. Half a god? What does that mean? Are you just a demigod? Lin Xiao heard that Xiaomo seemed not yet to be a true god.
Xiao Montag nodded.
You could say that. I only acquired the godhead, but haven't obtained the god seat yet. The evil god was the same. Godhead, god seat. This was the first time Lin Xiao had encountered these new concepts. He knew that gods existed, but he had no idea how they were classified. Now, he glimpsed a corner of that knowledge from Xiaomo. Xiaomo continued, When you reach level 100, the peak of humanity, you will have the opportunity to step into a higher domain, the God-tier domain. It's very difficult. As far as I know, no one in our world has truly reached the God-tier. Even she was only a demigod. Xiaomo looked at Lin Xiao and said, Perhaps you have a chance. Me? Yes. Didn't you obtain a trace of the evil god's power? Once you reach level 100, you can use that trace of power to glimpse the godhead. Of course, you could also directly inherit the evil god's godhead, but I don't recommend doing that. The evil god was evil, and inheriting his godhead would affect you, causing you to gradually become evil. Lin Xiao listened to this knowledge, which he shouldn't have been exposed to at his current stage. After pondering for a moment, he couldn't help but raise a question. Isn't the godhead fixed? Like the god of fire, god of water, etc. Can they be derived spontaneously? Xiaomo didn't play the Riddler. Although this was still very distant for Lin Xiao, she was certain he would reach that level. That's right. There are no predetermined things or events in the world. What you consider predetermined was merely created a long time ago. The godhead can be derived. It's just more difficult, not as simple as inheriting one. But the advantage is that it is perfectly compatible with oneself. If you reach the god tier, possess a godhead and a god seat, and then you die, your godhead won't vanish. Instead, it will turn into a special entity. If a fated person obtains it, they will inherit your godhead and god seat. Whoosh! A sound of sand sliding came from the distance. Most of the dungeon area turned into motes of light and vanished completely, then transformed into wisps of thought power that integrated into Xiaomo's body. There isn't much time left. Xiaomo glanced at the disappearing area, then looked at Lin Xiao. I have one question. Please speak. How did you manage to let me reabsorb the dungeon's power? This dungeon was constructed using her power. It was like spilled water. It couldn't be taken back. But Lin Xiao used some unknown method that allowed her to reabsorb it, the consequence of which was naturally the collapse of the dungeon. Chapter 188. It's a talent ability of one of my summoned beasts. I just wanted to do my part, but I didn't expect it to help you turn the tide directly. To be honest, Lin Xiao was also very surprised. After all, the strength gap between the two was huge, and even if the lucky spirit's talent worked, its effect would be minimal. It was this minimal effect that acted like the last straw that broke the camel's back, allowing Xiao Mo to turn defeat into victory. There's a talent like that? Your summoned beast is also extraordinary. At this moment, Lin Xiao remembered an important matter and quickly asked, "This dungeon is disappearing. Will the external dungeon be affected?" Yao Tianyi and the others were still on their way, but the dungeon here was gradually disappearing. He was afraid it would affect the external dungeon, causing them to be trapped here. It was even possible, yes,
Xiao Montag nodded.
since she created this dungeon, she naturally knew who Lin Xiao was referring to. But you don't need to worry. I will safely send them away from here, and that includes you all, of course. Hearing this, Lin Xiao finally felt relieved. What about you? Aren't you leaving? Lin Xiao heard from Xiao Mo's words that she didn't seem to be planning to leave, but rather to stay here. Since the evil god could leave, she certainly could too. But Xiao Mo didn't seem to have that intention. I will stay here. Even if I could leave, there would still be a risk of death outside. It's better to end everything here, and my revenge will be complete. There's also a risk of death? Lin Xiao was somewhat surprised. Xiao Mo was a demigod. Who could kill her? But Lin Xiao quickly thought of a possibility. The sanctuary. Xiao Mo spoke the possibility Lin Xiao had thought of. The sanctuary protects this world. If a god-tier being appears, they will definitely be erased. Actually, the evil god won't be able to rampage for long even if he escapes. As a demigod, he will be targeted by the sanctuary. If he continues to commit evil, he will definitely be erased. In that case, everything I've done will be meaningless. He must die by my hand.
Xiao Montag explained.
This was the sanctuary's protection mechanism, to ensure that the people of this world would not encounter danger again. But the drawbacks were also very obvious. It was difficult for a god-tier being to emerge. A god-tier being will be erased if they appear. Lin Xiao suddenly thought of the goddess of fate. When he used her coin of destiny to try and control his own fate, she appeared and took the coin back. At that time, a heavenly lightning bolt seemed to have fallen, which should have been the sanctuary's protection mechanism. It's time to send you away. Watching the dungeon gradually disappear, Xiao Mo knew it was time to send Lin Xiao away. Okay. Goodbye. Lin Xiao's vision blurred. A strong white light flashed, making it difficult for him to open his eyes, and then swallowed him. A moment later, when he opened his eyes again, he found himself standing on the rooftop of a tall building. Qin Chuan lay on the ground, and besides him, there were Yao Tianyi and two unfamiliar men. Yao Tianyi suddenly got up, a sharp sword swirling around him, quickly assuming a defensive stance, wary of his surroundings. Qin Shuran and Wu Jinghuan woke up a second slower than him, and upon waking, they also took defensive stances. It showed how strong their vigilance was. Soon, they realized that for some unknown reason, they had left the dungeon and saw Lin Xiao not far ahead. Lin Xiao, you're out. Yao Tianyi quickly checked to see if his precious student had any problems. MHM. Lin Xiao nodded. He was about to complain that Yao Tianyi had come too late, but then he thought about the subsequent battle. If they had come, they probably wouldn't have been much help, and Xiao Mo would have had to expend more energy protecting them, given it was a demigod-level battle. So he decided against it. What exactly happened inside? Did those abyss trash take the evil god's power? Qin Shuran walked over and asked sternly. Wu Jinghuan and Yao Tianyi both turned their gaze to Lin Xiao, wanting to know what had happened in the dungeon. Not the evil god's power, but the evil god. Upon hearing this, the three men's expressions froze. Not the evil god's power, but the evil god. What did that mean? Without waiting for them to ask, Lin Xiao told them what had happened in the dungeon. Even if some parts were omitted, it did not affect the story. Yao Tianyi and the other two were extremely shocked to hear that what was sealed in the dungeon was not the evil god's power, but a real evil god. That's terrifying. If the evil god had appeared, it would have surely been a catastrophe. Qin Shiran felt a lingering fear just thinking about it. If the evil god had truly appeared, perhaps the entire western region would cease to exist. But fortunately, Lin Xiao had averted this crisis. This matter is too important. I'll take my leave first. Qin Shiran left first. He needed to organize and report this matter. You scoundrel! Didn't I tell you to stay in Shanyuan City and not go anywhere? You're good, entering a dungeon of this level without fear of death. Are you tired of living? Yao Tianyi began to settle scores with a fierce look. Lin Xiao, noticing Qin Chuan, who had just woken up, Lin Xiao quickly said, I was trying to save Qin Chuan. Otherwise, I wouldn't have entered such a dangerous place. Senior brother Qin, isn't that right? Ha! Qin Chuan, who had just woken up, was still confused and didn't know what Lin Xiao was saying. But hearing that Lin Xiao had come to save him, he still nodded in agreement. Yes, that's right. With the departure of the woman in black robe and the war chief, the abyss monsters and abyssal demons in the western region were now gradually withdrawing. It wouldn't be long before this war would end. As for Lin Xiao, under Yao Tianyi's supervision, he returned to Imperial Capital University via a long-distance teleportation array, as if afraid he would run off and cause trouble again. The war is over, and you're back so soon? Seeing Lin Xiao appear, Grandpa Nyo, lying in his rattan chair, greeted him in a good mood. The radio was broadcasting the war situation in the west. The war was drawing to a close as the abyssal demons retreated, which put him in a good mood. You didn't go there to do logistics, did you? Why don't I see any injuries? Grandpa Nyo scrutinized Lin Xiao and, seeing how clean he was, couldn't help but tease him. After all, with Lin Xiao's level and strength, it was almost impossible for him to be on the front lines. Nor would he be allowed on the front lines. This time, at most, it was a training exercise. I didn't go to the front lines. I was responsible for clearing out the abyss monsters in Shanyuan City, Lin Xiao said. Even though these abyss monsters were not ordinary, that is, Grandpa Nyo nodded. That's not bad. It's a valuable experience for you. Wait, your level. Grandpa Nyo was about to share his experiences and heroic achievements with Lin Xiao when he suddenly noticed that Lin Xiao's level was not normal. You're level 36? His eyes widened like bull's bells. If he remembered correctly, he was level 30 before he left, and now he's level 36 just by doing logistics in the West? Even a rocket wouldn't be that fast. To be precise, I'm almost level 37. Lin Xiao corrected him.